Oops, wait. We're running. Okay.
Good?
Yep.
Okay, so the major bass of the chord looks like this. That's your root note. Remember, you're used to finding the chord like this. You always want to get it away from the right side and go to the left side so that you're using a bass that looks like that. And there's always a bar. And then there's always pinky, pinky, ring, ring. That's what stays the same in all these. And then there's always an extension that goes up. And then there's always an extension here. Okay? Same thing happens down on the fifth string. It's all the same. You just have that adjustment to make on the second string because the tuning's different there. So this is still the bass of the chord. You're used to going like this, which you can change to this, or you can go to this side and do it here. Okay?
Right.
So you have that. Add your middle finger. So you always think about what the barred notes are, and then you add your middle finger. Otherwise, it's pinky, pinky, ring, ring again, just like it was up here. I'm just adding my middle finger down here, and I'm getting the bass. And then there's an extension. And then there's another bass down here, or extension here. Cool?
Yep.
Now, the way that you find the chord tones to land on an extension is, here's our extension. Here's our extension. These are our chord tones. You have the little bass notes, the root and the third, and then the chords here. Whatever you do on the middle two strings, the third and fourth string, if you end, wherever you end, that's to get the major chord.
That's major,
You can do that here. These are octaves. Cool?
Yep.
Same thing here. There's the chord. So what changed here is that we have now a ring finger here and a pointer here. So here we had two. Bars.
Right.
These now are your major chord tones in the root 5 shape.
Yep.
Fourth position.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so the difference between the major and minor is same shape. The minor is in the root note. We get that octave here. So instead of this note and this note, we now have this note and this note. So all you do is you take your pinky and move it over here. Now those are your chord tones. You still have pinky, pinky, ring, ring. You still have an extension up there. You still have an extension down there. Only thing that's changed is that you have, instead of that note, that note. What that does on the third and fourth string is now those are your chord tones instead of these. So on the third string, you do this, so my extension looks like that. So this sounds like minor.
Right.
Instead of this. It's this. That sounds minor. Same thing here. Take your pinky, put it over here. Now we're on a bass note here. So now, those are my minor notes. Cool.
Yeah.
So I do all the same things. So, aside from the Hendrixy thing, which is always take a couple strings, hammer on, and go back to the chord tones. So if I'm going to D, that looks like this. Right? So, aside from that little Hendrixy hammer on, where you can hammer on each string and end on the chords, you can do those motives, which really just, instead of doing this, you go, you pull them apart.
Right. Yeah. but always land it on a chord tone. But always land on a chord
you
tone.
always want to end on a chord tone.
Okay.
Land your notes on the chord. That sounds major.
Yeah. Got it.
Cool.
Yeah.
That sounds major. Right?
Yeah.
Again. That's major. Cool.
Yeah.
That's it. That's everything. You can do anything else you do in the scales. And now do any soloing you want.
Okay.
Do chromatics. And you're still on the chord, you know?
Just land on
Play
the chord
around.
tone.
That's still going to work out because you're really trying to land on the chord tone. You know, it's be as wacky as you want getting around the scales, but land on the chord, you know. You're going to hear that resolve, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
You do a bunch of playing, you get to a chord. You play a chord, do a bunch of playing, you get to a chord.
Okay.
It's always going to work, even if you're going crazy like that. Just doing it. Cool?
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Awesome.
That's everything. And so obviously that can